And it was to a point where I was making, you know, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month. And it got to a point where it was like, this is too easy. Honestly, the hero in my whole journey is Jessica and the kids, because they could have made this real hard. I grew up with nothing. You know, some of you might have seen me talk about that in my videos. I grew up with nothing. I mean, you know, literally we were poor. I lived for a while as a child. We were homeless, literally in Queens, living on a park bench. And then COVID hit. Everything with COVID, and the market just went nuts. US dollar took a big hit. Everything went crazy. We caught a swing trade from the top of that channel on GA all the way down. And so we ended up catching, I don't remember, it was like 4,000 pips. And actually my boss at the company, he got into IML. But I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna tell you really what's going on with IML, what happened with IML. I really got to a point where, you know, as a man of God, as a man of faith, you know what I'm saying, as a person who, I take my faith seriously, and I think, you know, the Bible tells us that our name is more valuable than riches, right? I did not feel comfortable because I was recruiting people, telling them to come in, we're gonna teach you how to trade. But I knew good and well, man, in the back of my mind, they weren't gonna learn how to trade from IML.
So you said it, so I'm gonna reiterate it. I wouldn't have said it, but you did. You're a master trader. You out here killing it in the markets, hitting 90+% on these setups. It's amazing. But when you're at the beginner level, or even immediate, even if you become advanced, you know, you feel like you're trading 7 days a week. The market's not even open every day, but you feel like you're trading almost 24/7 to get to that level. So what's your work-life balance? How do you maintain the family life and still be a dedicated trader and keep that balance?
Man, that's a whole video, bro. That is a whole video. You got to keep the main thing, you know. It kind of comes back to that same battle that I was talking about a minute ago. You know, you got to win that battle. Money, if you can master it in the beginning, that money is a means. You know, money is a vehicle. It's not where you're going. It's maybe something that's going to help you get there. You got to have that predetermined, because here's what happens in life, man. And this is just a little mindset lesson, but here's what happens. Most of us, especially when those who are not taught, you know, maybe you didn't have a lot of teaching or raising, you know. I don't know. Everybody's situation is different, but we tend to make decisions based on our current circumstance. You know, we go through a certain thing, and because we're going through a thing, because we got a certain set of circumstances, we feel like we've got to respond to them. Some circumstances don't even deserve a response. You know, that's some wisdom for you, truthfully. Some circumstances don't even deserve a response. Just let them pass. They'll be gone tomorrow. You know, we can't let circumstance dictate how we live. So what we have to do is we have to have some predetermined rules in our life, you know, and these are guidelines. These are like guardrails on the road, right, to keep us on the road. We got to keep those things in our life, because if we wait until the heat of the moment to try to make a decision, we tend to make bad decisions. But if we like predetermine, like this is the standards by which I live, you know, then that allows you to put yourself in a position where you can make educated decisions when those circumstances arise. You just go back to the rule book, you know. So I say that to say, you got to keep the main thing. You know, family is more important than money. Your children are more important than money. Your marriage is more important than money. Your health is more important than money. At the end of the day, when you're older and you're looking back on your life, you know, your kids are not going to remember the little toy you bought them. You know, they're not going to, you may have a couple little special things like that, but they're not typically going to remember the things They're gonna remember the time you spent with them. They're gonna remember the moments that meant something. Remember that time when, it's not, remember that thing you bought. It's not gonna be that way. So just have those predetermined rules in your life that money is just a means to get me there. Money is not why I do this. I'll tell you why I'm trading. Our vacation, when we went to North Carolina a couple years ago, one of our favorite vacations we ever took as a family. I remember my daughter sitting there she was a little bit younger. I remember, like, at the time, my 13, 14-year-old daughter looking and seeing wild horses on a beach for the first time and walking up and just being able to stand there and take pictures next to horses wild. Like, I'll never forget that. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that she'll never forget. Watching, going through escape rooms with my kids and just all of those things like that, those are the memories that are going to mean something. So at the end of the day, to answer your question, the work-life balance, there really isn't a balance, right? It's just everything's about the life. It's not about the work. Work is a means to get the life. So if work is outweighing the life, then it's the wrong work or the wrong life, So at the end of the day, life has got to outweigh the work. And so if that's not the case, if it's even, or if work is taking too much and not enough life, then you didn't do enough preparation beforehand to put yourself in a good position. So you need to take a step back and look, what can I do that's different? That's why I got into trading in the first place. My why, right? Some of you have watched my videos long enough to know my family, my ministry, my city. That's it. I love my family to death. My wife, my children, and my everything. My ministry. You guys know I love God. I love the church. I love being a church planter. I love working for the kingdom. And then third, my city. You guys know I love the city of Detroit. This is my home. I love this place. And I want to be part of the resurgence. I don't want to just talk about, it's getting better here. I want to be part of it. I want to be invested in it. And so that's my why. That's why I do what I do. So keeping that at the main thing, that's how you keep it balanced, bro. Because honestly, it's just there's some non-negotiables that have to be in your life that, this is not going to be more important than my why. I don't care. And if it takes over my life, then it just doesn't need to be part of my life. So, you just got to have those checks and balances in your life, and you got to be disciplined enough to know when something is taken away from the value of your life. And there's times you got to work a little harder to make sure things happen. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's one thing if you do, this week I got to go put in some overtime. Okay, that's fine. I get that. But when that becomes an all the time thing, it's just I'm going to grind and you're working 80 hours a week and you ain't never spending so what are you doing? You working for what? So you love work. Work is your child. You know what I mean? Like, so you know what I'm saying? So you got to just get to a point, man, where life is the balance. Work feeds the life. Life don't feed the work.
100%.